Hope it worked because
Okay.
I got sound canceling on, so it may not work at all to sync up the audio. That's why the clackers are for.
Oh
fun
yeah,
fact.
yeah. Okay.
They clack them so that all of the microphones have a
I
big,
didn't even know
big.
that's an actual thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so there's a big spike on the audio, like the sound wave thing, and then they can drag and like line that line up so they can edit. So, welcome to TalkFit. I looked at this thing, which is not a camera, not there to welcome y'all. So, welcome to TalkFit. I'm one of the hosts, Josh Day, a CrossFit Level 3 trainer here at Grand Mesa CrossFit, and our other host.
I am Rebecca Remus. I am owner of Grand Mesa CrossFit.
Yeah, soon to be Level 3, studying,
So,
taking the
yeah,
test this month.
Elbows deep right now, y'all. Elbows
Ooh.
deep. Yeah.
What's the most recent thing you've learned?
Right now I'm going through the spot the foul
Flaw.
foul
Spot the
fall.
foul. It's the same thing.
Same thing. Flaw course, and it's just like, man, like, to be honest, the ring row was the hardest of all of them.
I don't know. Box
yeah.
step ups seem to be
I
pretty
know.
hard to
Oh
judge,
my gosh.
these days. That's how mine looked. I'm telling you, I was doing grief burpee or grief box steps.
Yeah.
It was more is the shoulders, not like so like if your head's down, your head shoulders might not be in line, and that anyway. I think most athletes got docked
For the soft knee
knees,
deal.
because
Yeah.
if you stepped up, so locked out, and then a quick tap
I'm
the
surprised
other.
on how many athletes actually got like
It's been crazy.
on that
Yeah.
levels like
It's been
Yeah.
crazy, but. You might notice if you're watching, if you're just listening, I mean, you just heard a different voice. If you're watching, there's someone else sitting with us today. We are bringing our first guest on. So if this episode is garbage because of editing, we'll figure it out in the future. Hopefully it won't be because of editing. But we've got Mighty with us. If you haven't met Mighty, who are you?
I'm a level 2 CrossFit coach
Yes.
as well. Sometimes substitute coach here.
Yeah.
I started coaching, and then I'm also working against Gravity certified nutrition coach.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about today. Talking about nutrition. We brought Mighty on because she does nutrition coaching with several of our people now, and we really want to show who you are, tell people about who you are so that they can get into that if they're looking for some nutrition guidance and stuff like that, because the base of the hierarchy of the CrossFit
That's
pyramid.
a huge part of why the
is-
importance of this conversation we have with our members is, you have to dial that in to make sure everything else on top of that pyramid is progressing the way it should as well.
Pop quiz
So,
for you since you're studying.
my God,
What's
don't.
the pyramid? We got nutrition
No.
and then
we'll have like not right now. I know sports at the top.
sports at the top. Nutrition.
Not right now. Don't spring it on me right now.
Metcon,
Yeah.
gymnastics, weightlifting / throwing, sport.
Yes.
So that's the pyramid. We might dive into like more of those levels as we.
That'd be a great
That'd
idea.
be kind of a good series. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're starting a series this week with nutrition.
Yeah.
So what got you into nutrition? We've got a live audience making faces at us today, also.
Kind of, I would say, my unhealthy eating habits.
Okay.
When it came to nutrition. Also, like when I first started working out, for me, I was working out consistently for like 6 months, nonstop, and because I was working out, I felt like I could kind of just eat whatever, like get canceled out or something.
You like earned that food,
100%,
right?
I went to like McDonald's, Chick-fil-A right after, and I noticed like I'm working out, and I would feel like I'm not looking the way I thought I would look at this point in my time as far as working out. So I just started listening to podcasts of just smarter people than me. Dr. Lane Norton, he has a PhD in nutritional science, I think,
that's
like
cool.
that. He's someone who I started listening to, and a lot of like fitness community with degrees and stuff like that. And I just started learning about macros from there, experimenting, kind of like everyone does with MyFitnessPal,
Right,
trial and error.
What is this?
And once I noticed I was hitting a certain protein target as well as calorie target, oh my gosh, my physique changed, and I was like, okay, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
I want to help people help themselves too.
Yeah.
So we last episode we did the whole like what's in my gym bag and went over, and so this is kind of funny. It's because it's a trend that we start now. We're like, Rebecca is coming from like where things have evolved to where they are now.
Yes.
So I would say, started CrossFit in 2010, and so March 2010, I got my first level 1 in December. It's like I was bought in, wanted to get,
I was 11.
wanted to live here, right?
I was 11.
So different how it's presented now, because I've gone through the online level 1 and level 2 and then all the guidance that we're giving now on our different courses, I would say in the beginning days, really what was hammered was a zone diet, right?
Yes.
And so, which is great because that's when you're starting to get people in the habit of, let's just track, let's just write down what it is that you're eating.
Being aware of what
yeah.
you're consuming.
Yeah, and don't try to adjust anything just yet. Let's just get in the habit of what it is to write down and track what it is you're eating. And that may be enough to like, oh my gosh, I actually am getting no vegetables at all during the day, or
You don't need
I have
vegetables,
I'm eating my allotted fat or whatever, my first meal of the day. What am I gonna do? So zone was kind of the main thing. Then Rob Wolf released his Paleo Solution book, and that is, I would say, late 2010 to 2011. That was pretty much what that was the diet. That was the
which is like what's
nutrition
in the
plan.
100 words of
Right,
fitness, right?
right.
Eat meat, vegetables,
His
nuts,
big
seeds,
thing
some
was-
starch, little fruit, and
Oh,
no
like
sugar.
which is still very like protein is the diet, like your sources of protein, ideally whatever you're eating had a face
Yes,
and
yeah.
was very
You could name them.
Yeah.
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 Had a mom.
For all those vegetarians out there,
Sorry.
sorry.
Ideally, like they were active when they were alive. They weren't like in a pen or something and
Yeah.
just living in filth. But that was his big thing. But it was really a little bit on the extreme. It's kind of funny. Like I still have anxieties about certain carbs.
Yeah.
We just didn't, stayed away from the rice for the most
Like
part,
white
and potatoes,
rice,
and it
white
was like the
bread.
things that were vilified. You learn it was not a great foundation. You start to vilify food, which you
Yeah.
shouldn't do, right?
No,
That's a
right.
big thing about the message that you bring as
Yeah.
well. Like, yeah, go ahead.
That's
Go
something
ahead.
that we talk about, or I like to focus on, is like when you start putting certain foods into a box, which I think there's a time and a place depending. Obviously, we want to do the least amount of processed food as possible. But when you start categorizing things as good or bad, and then you eat those, it almost feels like you're putting your identity, like, hey, I ate a slice of cake on my birthday.
Yeah.
That is a bad food. Now I am bad.
Oh yeah.
So then when you go from there, you go like kind of like that all or nothing mindset we were
Yeah.
talking about. Like now that I ate a bad food, well, I've ruined the day.
Mhm.
I started the day off off wrong. So now the whole day is bad, and now the whole week is bad, and then you kind of spiral.
And I'll
from there.
reset
Yeah.
another
Correct.
time next week.
When in reality,
tomorrow.
exactly.
Yeah.
When in reality, if you have a bad choice or you have something fun to eat, the next choice can be that normal decision, just my normal meal.
Yeah.
It's not your decision is not erased.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So after that, like we were heavily into the paleo, and there was some fun stuff to look up. There was Matt and Trishan were big into was it 90-10? I can't remember what the percentages was. Like if you're compliant on whatever, yeah,
80-20
whatever
is a pretty
you're
common
like
one now, at least.
you're very diligent in what it is that you're eating. And they used to put out in videos and stuff of how they would go nuts on Sunday night. They were completely compliant
Mhm.
all week long, and then it was just nothing off the table. Oreos, everything that they could stuff into their body. Sunday night, Monday morning, they were back on track.
Diet starts
there's-
on Monday.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's good and bad to that, right? There's again, maybe vilifying foods, but at the same time, like
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
key is just like with anything, is going to be balance.
Yeah.
Can I have a donut on Monday and then have a cookie on Wednesday evening?
Yeah.
And a slice of pizza on Friday and still stay compliant mostly with my diet? Yes, you can. I
Yeah.
think vilifying that stuff is, does
Yeah.
more harm than good.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think holding it on a pedestal can do harm too, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Where you like put this treat food right
Yeah.
here, so that anytime you have it,
Yeah.
you feel like I have to eat this all right now.
yeah.
Versus when you try to sprinkle it out throughout the week, you have less of like an emotional reaction. It's literally not a
Mhm.
big deal.
Yeah.
When you make it a big deal,
Yeah.
then that just puts you in a spot for
that, believe it or not, your body, like, you add stress to that as well, which is not beneficial, and
If you're trying to lose weight, stress is
Yeah.
one of the biggest things to
it's a barrier.
fight
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
Like
And really, in regard to consuming foods that you think are good or bad, like everybody has something that's different. It really just depends on what your goals are.
Mhm.
Like, hey,
yeah.
is what I'm about to do right now going to support my goal for my nutrition goal, whether it's to lose weight, maintain weight, gain weight.
Yeah.
And that's really going to help you determine what decisions you're making. Like, hey, if I eat this slice of cake today, even though I just had some cake yesterday, is that going to support my goal of, I have a wedding in a month, maybe I want to fit into a certain dress or something like that.
Yeah.
You literally do have a
Which I
wedding.
really
in-
do have a
Oh
wedding.
my goodness. Ah.
So,
Who are you marrying?
Just whoever shows up that day.
Yeah.
Another fellow coach here. None of these two people.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So that, within Grand Mesa CrossFit, I was always very hesitant to have us kind of fly any banner as far as like, this is a nutrition plan we're gonna follow. Because me personally, like the journey that I went on, like we went through, I never actually did zone, with just where we came in, paleo was like the big thing. And so I was very compliant there. Saw amazing results, was great. And then, then you got into like, kind of lazy on the tracking, everything falls on the wayside. Then next thing I did was I learned how to track macros. That was great. Got the goals I wanted to see. And then once I got the goal, then I started to fall off and I started making compromises. After that, intermittent fasting was like a deal. So, I don't want to say, so I was like, I don't feel comfortable broadcasting or other than the high level, the stuff like, when you go grocery shopping, try to, put your protein first. But I didn't want to say, this is what we're doing as a gym, because as a person, I hadn't figured out for myself yet. Right. So, we had discussions. You were getting more into the nutrition coaching. It was kind of an overlap on when I started, getting into a sport that was dependent on a weight classes. So there's USAW, Olympic weightlifting is one. I'm in jiu-jitsu. There's a bunch of other sports as well.
Lots
you have
of
to
sports
be
have weight
yeah.
class, which is different about CrossFit. We all compete at the same. It doesn't matter what weight we are. We all lift the same weight if it's a competition.
I never had to care before, and all of a sudden, like, oh my gosh, I can't even compete if I'm not within this ground. I Leap of Faith started having discussions with Mighty end of last year, like, hey, we are going to try this reset. Opened it up to the gym, handful of people participated in it, and it was unlike any other challenge that I have ever done. We've done challenges before, but the approach to it was so different because of the oversight, the accountability, and the grace that was shown to everybody that was doing it. It was like, let's get in the habit, let's have the discussions. These are great SOPs we're sharing with each other, and removing the stress and enjoying it and putting priority on the stuff that you do enjoy eating, and making it work within, whatever your goals are. That's, it's, I feel like I'm on a path now for much more longevity. It's not even, it doesn't feel like a diet. It doesn't feel restrictive. This is just who I am. This is how I eat. And this is in compliance with what I do here and what I do for my sport outside of here. So
I think that word diet, right? Like, like we were talking yesterday a little bit when we were kind of prepping for this. So I'll let you take that away. But that
like
word.
A diet, everybody has a diet, right? A
Yeah.
diet is something, a way that you eat every single day on a consistent basis. And that can change throughout the year, weeks, months, depending on your goal, of course.
Yeah.
But that's something that I like to focus on as far as nutrition. Is like, can I do this forever?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
the
the goal.
sustainability of it.
If you can't sustain it, then those keto buzzwords like
Yeah.
paleo, intermittent fasting, if it's something that you can't do forever, then it's probably something you shouldn't be doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Early on, Ariel tried RP. Really great diet if you're like trying to cut weight
Macros,
for
really
something,
macro-based.
but it's like
Yeah.
very macro based and like very restrictive. So it's not a sustainable, like, it's
No.
not a lifetime diet.
No.
Personal opinion and seeing it. And so that was a
Macros-
situation there.
Macros are super popular right now with a lot of, like, I would say, like, general population, but I think, like, I'm a normal person. I don't want to count macros every day.
That's
you
fair.
know?
Yeah.
Once you start, I think macros is a good place to start figuring out how much you should be eating. But after a while, you're going to be able to build your own plate.
Yeah. You kind of have that eye for it. Yeah.
I think a certain period of time to start tracking for yourself, to have that accountability, like, oh my gosh, a tablespoon, I was eating like 4 tablespoons.
Yeah. Because it's good and loaded with sugar.
Grams of peanut butter, this is it. So those are good ways to kind of like reel it in. And then now, I still even measure now without tracking. I still measure my food without even tracking now. It's just something
Just to kind of make sure, keep yourself in check.
To make sure I'm eating enough.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, I think, with a lot of people when they start dieting or following a more like plan is that they realize they haven't been eating enough, especially
Oh my
enough
gosh,
protein.
so many.
On
Yeah.
the challenge, I think that was the number one thing I think people came up to me with the most is like, especially Arif, like he could not even finish
Yeah.
his food, and yet his body fat was going down.
Yeah,
So I thought that was really cool.
fueling our body enough is
Ashton, I can't eat all these eggs.
Yeah. Yeah.
4 eggs. 4 eggs.
Yes.
Your
Yeah.
avocado toast with 1 egg is not enough. People.
No,
Yeah.
we need a lot of protein.
Yeah.
A lot of protein.
So I mean, I think now, as far as the evolution of CrossFit, I think a bunch of us are now of the mindset of the protein priority.
Yeah.
So I'll let you.
I mean, protein. That the biggest thing I hear or I see, like in the fitness space or with new clients coming into the gym or personal training clients, they're always the main goal that you hear is like, I want to look and be toned.
Yeah.
Toned.
Yeah.
The only way you can get toned is by having muscle. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
The only way you can have muscle is by consuming enough protein and strength training. So eating enough protein is super important.
And that's a pitfall, right? And it's hard because people become very restrictive, and you're gonna see your weight probably drop, but it's a very short-sighted type of goal because it's not, again, like you said, sustainable, and they're reinforcing their bad habit because they initially see the dip in the weight, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
That like
That's
yo-yo
something I would
diet.
ask people. I would ask people like, hey, just talking to Michelle the other day, I was like, hey, if you could have your dream body, your toned look that you want, but your scale was 20 pounds heavier, would you even care? I was like, no. You really think about it? No.
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
The scale is just a measurement to help us like track where we're at.
I think now
Understand.
so I
One measurement.
One of yes.
I messaged her like during that reset. I was like, I don't want to step on the scale. I feel so good right now. Things are starting to feel loose, but I have this event coming up, so I do need to know where I'm at. And I'm so nervous that when I step on there, it's just going to be like a defeatist feeling. So it was like, I don't know, it was a give and take. It was a necessary evil because I had this thing coming up, but I truly had so much energy. I felt, no issues working out in the morning classes, and I can see like the biomarkers, everything that we want to see, everything was trending the way I wanted to go.
Yeah, we have some people who did the challenge who didn't even lose 1 pound. But
Yeah.
their body fat percentage based on their scan went down like 3, 4, 5%.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's really matters. How do you feel? How do you look? That
Yeah.
also matters. That's
Progress
what we
pictures
wanna
are
say.
so
Exactly.
important.
Yeah.
So
Progress
important.
pictures are like one of the best markers of progress.
Yeah.
Which I can see like, oh my gosh, my body's changing. How your clothes feel.
Yeah. Because you see yourself every day, so you don't see that, but then you like you look back at those pictures and you're like, oh my goodness. Yeah. Those are huge. So if I signed up, like if I wanted to do coaching with you, like what's that process look like to make that happen?
What I like to do is talk with everybody, whether we do it like virtually here or we can do it in person.
Yeah.
Like what are your goals? Something that I like to know is what are your goals, and is it something that me as a coach we're compatible.
Yeah, that's
Because
important.
a lot of the times if someone asks me like I want to lose 50 pounds in 3 months, like ooh,
That's
let's be a little bit realistic about
I'm not the
goals.
coach for you if
Yeah,
that's
be
yeah.
that coach.
Yeah.
That's something I won't ever do is starve anybody.
Yeah.
Like that's something that you can believe me, you can do that for free at home.
Yeah.
So I'll say when somebody first joins and we go through the root session, I brought this up a couple episodes ago, is again, I keep it very high level. If you're the person in your household that's in charge of your grocery shopping, you go to HEB, wherever, you stick to those, the perimeter of HEB. You have your good carbs, your fruits and vegetables here. You go into your lean proteins. If you don't have those sensitivities, you have like the dairy section, and we try not to eat stuff with large ingredients, stuff in cans, because your body just can't process it as well. Let the programming here do what it's going to do, right? Inevitably, we get into, I don't know if I pronounced that right, 6 or 7 months into it, you're going to get you're going to see a plateau at some point, right? We're going to see the body fat percentage. This is when we start talking about like the quality of what you're eating.
Quality and quantity.
Right. Get the quality, see what's on, where you're sourcing your food. Like I said, the chicken thighs, chicken breasts, what does your body utilize better? Then we start talking about the quantity. Okay, now maybe getting into the macros. What, as far as your plate, what's taking up the majority of it? That's, at that point, like, okay, you feel like you're in a plateau, numbers, your biomarkers aren't moving the way you want to, let's sit down with somebody, sit down what your specific goals are, and that's when we bring in somebody who will tailor more to what it is you're trying to get accomplished.
Yeah. What we do, we just talk about like, hey, what are your goals?
Yeah.
What's the timeline? If there's no timeline, that's even better.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, I just want to look good, feel good for a long time. Also, my family, I want them to also attain the same good habits.
Yeah.
So we talk about that. One thing I really, really, really like to talk about or know about is, what do you normally eat in a day?
Oh yeah.
So look at that, which I think that's probably the hardest part.
How many times have people like, oh, I eat pretty healthy, and then you start listing out like,
okay, yeah, oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I eat one avocado toast with a whole avocado and one egg. Not a lot of protein. And then I go to Starbucks. I'll get my venti drink.
oh gosh,
Then lunch is just a salad, no protein. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's where we start digging into, which actually, it's not that it's bad.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we can make adjustments. Where we can make an avocado toast that has a little bit less fat, a little bit more protein, maybe a little bit more carbs.
Mhm.
We can order something from Starbucks, or maybe
Yeah.
save money, make it at home.
oh god, I forwarded the girl. So was it last week that I was like, if your drink from Starbucks is over like 200 calories,
yeah,
you don't like coffee, you like milkshakes.
These are facts.
Yeah.
These are facts.
Oh, yeah. It's hard. It's hard to make those adjustments at first. So we talk about that, like a little bit of accountability. That's why the app that we use, which I love, Everfit.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You take a
What's
picture
the
of
tag on?
every single thing that you eat for at least the first 3 days. I want to see what a normal day looks like.
Yeah. So
they
you don't
can
make any
start
changes to their stuff
Correct.
to start
Yeah.
off.
Don't make any changes. Just want to see what a normal day looks like. That kind of like that accountability. Yeah, I ate a bag of chips. We had to get pizza because I had kids, soccer.
Yeah.
something like
Because
that.
life, it
And
happens.
that's what I
Yeah.
want to know. And then from there, I'll have them answer like a pretty in-depth questionnaire. Probably takes like 15 to 20 minutes to answer. Like what our goals are, do we take medication, blah, blah, blah. And then from there, I will send them their meal plan, basically, just depending on their goals.
Yeah.
And we'll stick with it for a while. I don't really like to change anything until you're consistent with it for at least 2 to 4 weeks.
Building that habit, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the important part of nutrition, I think,
100%.
right? Is if we have the habit, it's just another day, right? It's everyday life.
So that's kind of how everything works. And then from there, we kind of go like, hey, 2 weeks have passed, 3 weeks have passed. How can I help you? Whether we're completing our tasks, our habits, sticking on plan. How can I help you be more accountable? What recipes can I give you to help with feeding the family too?
Yeah.
And then my goal is after like 8 or 12 weeks, you don't need me for a while.
Yeah.
Because I don't
Yeah.
want any kind of coaching, especially nutrition, to be something that you need forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like training wheels.
Yes.
Fly.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
we need an adjustment, there's always a time and a place for that. But
Yeah.
No, but I'm grateful. Like I'll text her and I'm like, hey, I didn't plan my day correctly. I should have packed my lunch today, and I think about going to Kava. And she goes, oh, challenge
got
accepted. She'll send the exact thing on the menu. Like this is gonna fit. Make that. Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's something I love to do. I'm such a nerd.
Uh,
Any place you go to, like a lot of my clients are like, hey, I'm going to dinner this weekend, which, I'm looking up that menu. I'm like, okay, no, not that. This
Yeah.
makes sense. So,
This will make it inside of what we're trying to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
so
something that I've known, you don't really hear it as much, and it was a thing. I'm so glad that's kind of phased itself out. Is the whole like, I'm trying to burn this many calories because I want to be able to eat whatever, right? So there's that whole thing. Like, it's pretty much been debunked. You can't outwork a bad diet. I mean, I could get a bad.
Yeah. No, absolutely, you
my
can't.
biggest pet peeve is people, hey, I love that you start your watch. Like, I don't even start it, I'll be honest.
I don't.
never even started.
I don't
I'm like, it
either.
burned my battery. I'm not going to do it. I love that people do it. 'cause
It's so
it's
practical. Yeah.
I know. Especially like Apple Watch, like, that move goal, I get it.
Yeah.
But if you're like burning whatever your watch says, you're like, okay, I burned 532 calories. This muffin has 532 calories. Like,
Yes.
that's not how it works.
That's not,
I mean,
no.
there's been studies that have proven that your watch is inaccurate,
First off,
up to 80% inaccurate.
that's a lot
on the
of
watch.
inaccuracy. Yeah.
So like either over or under. So just like, don't even.
Don't live and die by the watch. People.
No.
Don't live and die by the watch.
You're not earning your food.
No, absolutely. Never.
Yeah.
Never
I
earning
think
our
being
food.
active throughout the day is also underestimated. Like walking, like
No, man.
we're always
We're
on, like,
all-
a step more.
Yeah. there's some addicts in this space. That's actually why I gathered them here today.
This intervention.
This is an intervention about steps
Yeah.
not being life.
A little bit of the step queen, you know.
100%. No
Addict.
one's gonna take that from
Addict.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, you know, we're working out 1 hour a day.
Yeah.
Not everybody every day.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
sometimes our workouts are running or 30 minutes or 5 minutes. We got some of us for Fran, not me. But you know, what else are you doing with the other 23 hours of your day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And walking is huge. It's important. Yeah.
Especially like our
Absolutely.
work from home culture right
Yeah.
now. So
Just sitting.
It's a good discussion to have, guys. If you, like I said, things are going great. You feel like I know the names of the movements. I'm starting to get faster, stronger. We really should have some type of nutrition plan in
Yes.
place. If you don't, reach out to the coaches. Let's get something down. And again, small short goals. Get some wins for yourself. Get into maybe just the habit of writing down your food.
Yeah,
For that, it's
Absolutely.
amazing how much it amplifies, brings to light. You know, there's stuff I should be adding into my everyday meal. I guess you don't add it, make it a stressor, but it should be a priority
yeah, I think
within CrossFit.
the main takeaway as far as like why have a coach is just like why you come to class is the accountability.
Yeah.
It's
Right?
accountability.
Like your coach is seeing your not all the way down squat. Okay, I'm seeing the food that you're eating or not eating.
Yeah.
And you know, nutrition is super simple. It's just not
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
So
Everyone knows how to eat healthy,
There's no,
right? Like,
secret I'm gonna give you, like, guys, drink this.
Yeah.
Lemon water, cayenne pepper concoction.
and if she
every
starts
day.
doing that, tell us. 'cause
Yes,
she's
no,
out of
no.
here.
There's
Yeah.
nothing gonna be like super crazy you're gonna see on there that I have some secret to, no?
Yeah.
It's just that accountability and just being there for you to give you help and support when you need
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Glassman,
huge.
meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds. That's still, I mean,
Big,
it's
big. Yeah.
still here. It still rings true. It's still very relevant. I don't see that ever going away in our prescriptions. So
Nutrition's the biggest thing I changed in the last year.
Yeah.
Like I'd been doing CrossFit for 4 years, whatever, consistent almost every day.
Yeah.
And then boom, I focused in on it, and we
Homeboy's
we
coming in
danced.
here with large shirts and he looks sloppy. They look so big and loose on him.
I don't know.
So.
Yeah, we're starting to fill them out a little bit now. That bench cycle helped out, right? No. But yeah, I think we'll addition it. We can eat those things that we like, right? Eat some cake, but just don't eat like an
All about
asshole,
that.
Yeah, 100%.
right? Like
100%.
that's, we can have. My wife, she's been doing a diet and she eats a bowl of ice cream almost every single night. If it's in her calories, like she hits the protein stuff first. She got calories left. We're scooping up some ice cream, eating it. She's lost 25 pounds over the last year,
Oh,
and just
God.
like
So awesome.
feeling awesome, like even more than like the weight.
Yeah,
Like
it's more
yeah,
about what you do on a consistent basis
Yeah.
throughout your whole day versus what we have every once in a while.
yeah. Now it's not a heaping bowl. Like don't hear me say like we
Yeah.
can't eat a pint of ice cream every
No,
night, y'all.
no.
No, like it's measured. Like okay, I have 200 calories left.
Awesome.
I've hit the protein. This fits into
And
what
that's what
she's doing
makes-
specifically,
And
and
that's what makes her diet something she can do forever.
Exactly.
She's enjoying
yes,
her diet.
Yeah.
So
so
that's very awesome.
No, and
Yeah.
it affects everything, y'all. Your sleep quality, your performance here in the gym, which is again, we for my thing is we should be chasing performance, not aesthetics. And I feel like
Absolutely.
aesthetic is a byproduct of when you're
Yes.
when you're
Hurt to
complying
look
here.
good,
it does
No,
not, and
no.
you will if you're
Yeah.
chasing the
Yes.
performance and honing in that diet. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And once again, like I said, it's just something I think everyone knows.
Mhm.
It's very simple. It's just not easy. You're like,
No.
yes, but then when I'm faced, with you get home late from practice, kids stuff, and you're like, we could either stop at McDonald's or we can go home
and
and make
cook.
what we have in the fridge, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's easier said than done.
Yeah. No, absolutely it is.
oh my gosh, we're coming towards the end of the reset, and the kids were like, "Are we almost done with Mighty's reset?" Like,
No, this is life now.
No.
This is
everyone was like, "No, guys, this is how we eat."
I mean, and another thing that's helpful is like you can know that we're also your coaches here are also like going through it with you.
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
So it's not like I'm telling you to do something and we're not doing it. Just like we're working out right next to you.
100%.
We're making those good choices on a daily basis with nutrition too.
That's why we work out in classes with y'all, and
I know.
we,
I feel like-
we're following some sort of nutrition plan.
As the owner, as a coach, as somebody in class, I have never felt as satisfied as I do now.
Mm.
Like it's been great. I mean,
Yeah.
I am so grateful that we took that leap and we took that step, and it's trickling out to a bunch of our members and friends. And it's not complicated. It's
Yeah, I love that. message from you where I think after the challenge, which was a little bit strict because it was a
It
challenge.
was a challenge. Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
no
yeah.
alcohol, which we'll talk about.
Oh yeah, no
You know,
alcohol.
certain foods. But I remember Rebecca Peck. I asked her like, "Oh, did you end up? I think we saw Tyler and you at Jeremiah's.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I got ice cream.
I know.
And I was like, "Oh, did you get something or something like that?" She's like, "No, I'm still sticking to my plan. I feel great. Like,
Yeah.
why change it?
Why
I feel
change
good."
something if you're feeling good? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that was a really cool thing.
Yeah. So no alcohol, huh? That's
It's okay. So for me, like a whole bunch of us, 2021 was a very tough year.
yeah.
I consumed quite a bit of wine that year, and it was just how I coped with everything. And 2022 and 23 phased out. Maybe had social drinks every now and then. I decided when we were going through the reset, I think I had a drink that first weekend in February, celebrating somebody's birthday, and I was like, "Hey, that was line in the sand. I just want to see," because I had done it. I think in 2017 we had a challenge back then. I cut out alcohol with no like end in sight on when I was gonna consume my next, and man, it's insane. Just that cutting it out, my sleep quality was the biggest thing that I saw an improvement on. And for somebody who is with her family like late at night doing certain sports, my alarm goes off sometimes 4:30, 4:45, whether I'm coaching or working on that class. I have to a minimum get my 7 hours of sleep. I can't do this getting up in the middle of the night, tossing and turning, because it affects the whole rest of the day. It adds stress, which you hold on to body fat when you're stressed as well. So and months passing. The cool thing is, again, we're not vilifying alcohol at all. I'm not saying you that, but I will say if you have goals,
a little bit, but
if you have goals, I've started, and even with other coach here, Liz, hanging out together, we'll look up like mocktail recipes, which are fun to taste. You have like a carbonated whatever water, mix up some fruit, maybe some juice in it. And it's a lot of time it's just the act of having a drink in your hand
with somebody else.
and that's that scratches the itch, and that's fine. You're blended in. You're not making a big deal of like I'm not drinking, because that's also you make everybody kind of feel odd around you. Yeah. So
I'm not gonna drink.
no, and I don't. We this past weekend we went dinner at a great restaurant, and it was my husband and a bunch of people were enjoying the margaritas, and I was drinking water on the side, but didn't make it a big deal. I don't know. I probably will have an alcohol beverage at some point this year, but it's not. I just, for me, the benefits of how I have been feeling, I just don't want to let it go, if that makes sense. So, yeah. And it's easier because a bunch of us are kind of on this train. Or I don't say kind of on this train, like there's no.
Everyone.
Yeah.
That's kind of me. I'm 25, so young. But I've like 2 years, not one drink.
Mm-hmm.
So actually bought some cooking wine the other day.
Oh yeah.
Like a cooking wine.
Yeah.
And I'm just checking out, and the lady at the restaurant, "Can I see your ID?" And I'm like,
For what?
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh yeah, I forget." But
Right.
I'm just riding the wave. Like I have never experienced any morning after drinking where I ever like felt good. Or and fitness is so important. Obviously, it's our job. It's like it's so important to me that there's nothing that is better than me feeling good in a workout.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it
yeah.
just affects me so negatively that I'm just like, why bother?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more like on like maybe more negative on alcohol.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just don't see any benefits of it besides like the social aspect.
Yeah.
But there's other things you can drink socially, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Oli Pops?
Olipop. No, yeah. I'm a liquid death is my go-to because it's like kind of has that like beer can like but and also tastes good.
I think Mario talked about the is it Athletic Brew?
Athletic Brew is good.
Yeah.
We have that. I don't like beer. So.
Yeah, if you don't like beer, it's not good. But I've never had alcohol. 30, so I can't like tune into like that. But that's
I love me some.
So, but I do understand that like the social aspect of what's it like to be at a gym event where we have drinks. Like it's cool to just chill.
I think we had a great time when we wrapped up that last Friday Night Lights.
Absolutely.
The potluck, everybody was, on riding that high. We just got done, and I was enjoying my Oli Pops and just blending in, and Didn't
Yeah.
even think to go, you know,
No,
it's not
yeah. So again, we'll vilify it a little bit, but you know, we're not hating on you if you enjoy a beverage here and there. But I think like with everything else, like with food and everything, it's the balance, right? Like yeah.
Is my decision that is my decision to drink gonna support my goals for this week,
Yeah.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
So I don't think about that. Like,
Yeah.
hey, if I have my workout scheduled at 5 a.m. tomorrow, should I be drinking right now at 10
How is
p.m.?
this? Yeah. How's this
Or
gonna
more
impact
than
it?
one drink.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also
Quantity. Absolutely.
stuff like that.
So yeah, that's that on.
I mean, I think I'm like
alcohol.
so far gone into it that if I know if I have a glass of wine, I know I'm gonna feel the impact tomorrow. Yeah.
And you made that choice, and you know it, and
Okay,
that's
but I do
that's
know
fine.
some
Like
really fit people that be drinking. So.
Yeah.
imagine how fit they'll be
Yeah.
if they
I know.
stop,
I
right?
think there's
right.
like Patty Vellner, man, he'll enjoy him some pints and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah,
like when
yeah.
he's done with competitions
Built
or
different though, you know.
yeah, he has
It's,
we're not that same human.
uh,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
not. I'm all about love.
Not yet.
No.
One day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, sweet. Yeah. If y'all are interested in some nutrition coaching from Mighty, reach out. Let us know. Actually, in the app, you can schedule an appointment, like a sit down, like that initial kind of consult with her to see if y'all are good fits or not. So in the app, you'll scroll over to appointments and then like pick nutrition consult with Mighty. It's free. Schedule it. She'll reach out if you pick a time that like doesn't work for her or whatever, but she's flexible. So
If we're compatible. It's like
Yeah.
a speed date.
little speed date. Just a little like 15-minute. Yeah.
Until she gets
chat-
married.
Chat about. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. So that's
Thanks for having me
nutrition.
on.
Yeah. Thanks for being our first guest.
So awkward.
We'll see if we can how it goes, and we'll have more guests in the future, hopefully.
Yeah, well, next time we have her, she's gonna be Mrs. Caro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have her back on.
We'll definitely
Yeah.
we'll have you
All right.
back on.
Oh, upcoming events real quick.
Yes.
May 17th, speaking of potlucks, May 17th, that's going to be a Friday night. GMCF is hitting their 11-year anniversary. Huge deal for us. We're very
Ooh.
excited, very proud. We'll start getting that invite going to see who's going to bring what. We did that Friday Night Lights as well. That way we don't have like 5 casseroles or of the same casserole.
Nothing
so
wrong
it's
with
fine.
5 casseroles.
But yeah, hang out with each other, just appreciate each other and reminisce about this first year.
Yeah.
It's first year in this location, but 11th year as GMCF. So, 27th, we have Memorial Day Murph. We're shutting down classes all day that day. Believe we will have the sign-ups for heats. Maybe.
Oh yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll run
But
heats.
Please
But ultimately,
bring your
show
friends,
up.
bring your family. It's going to be good amount of people showing up. We're going to be sweaty and sharing bar spaces, I'm sure. So
Yeah, that's what it's about, right? Like
yeah.
Murph is not about crushing that time. It is about showing up and suffering a little bit together, honoring Murph specifically, but also all fallen soldiers. So yeah, if we have to share a bar, you have to wait a little bit. Don't get frustrated.
Yeah.
You might be in it for the wrong reason if that's happening that day. So
exactly. Yeah.
Check yourself.
Yeah. Just honoring the heroes, guys. That's
Yes.
what it's all about.
Have fun and suffer a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Sweat.
think first heat's going to go about 8 a.m. Is what we're looking at. It's like the humidity has arrived in,
Yes.
in
I know,
our
it's
area.
for sure 2 shirt days now.
Yes.
We got to bring an extra
And wear
for the
grips,
drive
please.
home. Oh yes.
Oh man, please. Yeah.
Don't.
We talked about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Why
man.
people don't be wearing grips?
Too much technology to deal with.
Do
yes.
not rip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, next thing on the schedule, I believe, is Whitetail Nighttail.
That sounds right.
Yeah, middle of
The
June.
waiting list, right?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a long wait
Still
list.
sign up.
Very excited.
Drew is already dropping hints. There's poetry being
They're
set
not
out.
hints. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. It's like the mushroom from the open.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Because that was a
100%.
hint.
Yeah, but exciting. It's me. Fun May, June coming up. We want to see everybody at our events. If you have any questions about anything, let us know. But that's pretty much everything we're going to cover for this episode.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's
Maybe.
it. We talked about fitness, talked about nutrition. We'll see you next week and we'll talk about something else.